Of course, dog. This is when you get out the shower. You don't have Neosporin in the shower. What up, everybody? It's the After Show, but later, episode 90. We made it, everybody. We have a shit ton for you today, including Greg slapping shit around. If you want to know what that means, you got to stay tuned. So it's your boys D and El Cucuy. Where you? Oh, hold on. Let me get El Cucuy up in this bitch. El Cucuy, what's cracking, man? Should we get Baseline Trey up in this bitch?
Hell yeah, Baseline Trey, bring it in.
All right, let's go, Baseline Trey.
Just cause it's all about the paper. Now buckle up your seats and prepare for the journey. Let the music ease your soul, grab a spliff and start burning. Relax with us and take a trip to the heavens. And come and spend a day in the 757.
What up, everybody? It's the After Show, but later. You already know us. I'm D, but if you're new, I'm D. This is El Cucuy, and we have a lot for you today. We do an after show about Covino and Rich. If you don't know them, you should know them, so I'm not even going to explain. El Cucuy, what do you have today?
Well, you know what? First off, I got to start with a public service announcement brought to you by the After Show, but later. We're looking out for your interests. Public service announcement. Listen up.
In California, with a physician's recommendation, there are 5 places you cannot smoke on a school bus: within 1,000 feet from a school or youth facility, in a motor vehicle that's operating, while operating a boat, and a no smoking zone. Everywhere else, good to go.
And that's your public service announcement from the After Show, but later. Follow Pop Brothers at Law on Instagram.
Hell yeah, man. So, aside from the public services, whatever the fuck, that thing that you just played, I'm barely learning the language. So, was there anything else that stood out to you this week? I know I have plenty of things that we need to get to. So what do you have?
You know what I got? I got the Taylor Ham conversation. You want to go ahead and play that clip if you want to clue everybody in on what I'm about to say.
No, we have an after show that's not necessarily affiliated with our show, right? Mm-hmm. But we're still honored, and that's awesome anyway. So shout out to the after show, but later. They do a great job because they talk about things that we discuss, but from a different angle and standpoint, and they get into their own thing. Shout out to Daniel, Javier, Fitz, and El Cucuy. What they can't grasp, I heard them talking about it. They don't understand how we could be so excited and go from 6 to midnight.
There you go. I'm glad
talking about fucking
bagels.
Clip,
no.
So
Keep it playing. Keep it playing.
That was all I had for the clip. So you go ahead and give your shit now.
Well, basically. Hold on, man. I gotta play. I got the clip because my story kind of went with the whole clip.
Oh, with the whole clip. Okay, my bad.
Because it's just not. We have an after show that's not necessarily affiliated with our show, right? Mm-hmm. But we're still honored, and that's awesome anyway. So shout out to the after show, but later. They do a great job because they talk about things that we discuss, but from a different angle and standpoint, and they get into their own thing. Shout out to Daniel, Javier, Fitz, and El Cucuy. What they can't grasp, I heard them talking about it. They don't understand how we could be so excited and go from 6 to midnight talking about fucking bagels. Mm-mm. And it's yo, you really guys, it really signifies home. Yeah, we understand they're just bagels, but you're eating bagel sandwiches during lunch and breakfast, and but that's part of how we grew up. So yeah, we think it tastes good, but it's also the comfort. It's like comfort food. And El Cucuy couldn't wrap his head around this is the stuff you guys are so excited about.
I wish you guys
shitty ham and bagels.
I wish you guys could have.
See, and that was kind of the point I was making. So when Covino said it like that, I absolutely can wrap my head around it. If it's an association with home, and it's a connection, it's a special feeling, it's something of a routine that maybe you can't get into based on where you live, because I get that. I lived in Coos Bay, Oregon, and I lived in, McKinleyville, California, and I lived in Shelter Cove, California. And trust me, we couldn't get tacos the same way. We just couldn't, you know what I'm saying? And Asian food wasn't the same. And when the population was 25,000, you don't have a lot of options. You just have what you have. So I understand it once he had put it from that point of view, where it's just something that signifies home. Now I get the argument. It wouldn't signify home for me. I would probably still like something else that's more New York-y or whatnot. But I get the connection Covino has with the glorified spam and the bagels.
You know what? I can kind of I feel you on that, because one of the things that I have as an example for me here in Yuma, we have this place. Well, there's two places, but there's one called Mr. G's. It was from a family, the Gutierrez family,
Okay.
like in the 40s or 50s or some shit. They started a Mexican restaurant, and their shit's good, but it's not like the greatest shit I've ever eaten, right? But to me, it is. But it's only because I grew up eating that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So for me, if I was to tell somebody else, like, hey, when you get here, like you, when you come to Yuma, which I know you will, I'm gonna be like, I gotta take you to get this burrito and shit, because their bean and cheese burrito is like a staple in my life. So it's not, they have plenty of shit. They have all kind. They have like tostadas and all the normal shit that Mexican places have, but this bean and cheese burrito is like a staple in me growing up. So for me, I know that there's better shit out there. I know, but it's just something that I grew up with. So, I have another example actually, and I have a clip from it. So I think we were kind of on the same line of thinking without even talking to each other about it, because I have another clip that I wanted to play. There's a comedian.
Because let me. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry, but I got to do it for a second. So let's just say Covino was in New York, and we went to, I don't know, hang out, or we had a drink or whatnot. If he said what you just said, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, these are things that we used to do. It's pretty damn good. Let's go check it out. It's a staple. I've been doing this shit half my life. Again, we're having a different conversation. Just, I'm in Fresno, bro. We got bomb ass burritos. But if you tell me the story you just told me about Mr. G, and it means something to you, and you kind of grew up as part of your routine in your life, then we're gonna go check it out. It did because at that point you're trying to understand and connect with somebody on something that they like. You're not really trying to prove that it's the best. You're trying to prove that, you're not even trying to prove anything. You're just trying to share something that's special with you with someone else who you're cool with.
Yeah, exactly. It's not even about, like you said, about being like, hey, this is the greatest shit of all time. You know what? There is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we did win like some shit about like some like world's best burrito or some bullshit like that. It was on like the Today Show or something. And right. So there is something to it.
Was that before or after Matt Lauer got the boot?
This was way before. This is in like 04 maybe.
Did his ass report on it or what?
No, it was actually I think it might have been El Roker. Could have been when he was like heavier too. So
how fucking joker.
But yeah, man. It's so from that standpoint, I dig it. And this is what I was gonna tell you is that there's a comedian named Joey Diaz. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but
absolutely,
yeah, Joey Diaz, right?
Vato or what?
Yeah. He goes by Uncle Joey, right?
Yeah.
And I was listening to his podcast, and he had on comedian Tim Dillon, which, if you don't know who Tim Dillon is, we have, if you're on our YouTube right now, check out the video where Tim Dillon rips me a new asshole, talks all kinds of shit. It's funny as hell. I put it up about 2 weeks ago, and it has like 12,000 views, so go check it out.
Since he was talking shit to you, bro, my favorite Dillon's Corey, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What about, I like Matt. I think Matt Dillon.
Yeah, he's all right.
The 2000s, he's all right. But
Ben Affleck, Ben Affleck, what's that other cat? Ben Affleck and Matt Damon group.
Oh yeah. So he, on this podcast, Joey was talking about food from the East Coast and shit, right? Well, Joey's lived in California and LA for the last like 15, 20 years or whatever, right?
Does he got a sister named Lily?
I don't even have a response for that. I try to have something clever, but I couldn't think of it in the moment, so I was like, oh shit. But anyway, he's been in LA for the last like 20 years. When all this Corona shit hit, he flew back to Jersey, and he was like, fuck it, you know what? Everybody's gonna be quarantined and shit, then I'm gonna be quarantined in my city, you know? So he flew back to Jersey, and I have a clip right here of him actually talking about the Chinese food and shit and that was another food that we mentioned, last week.
There's these fucking restaurants down here from people from Staten Island that have relocated. Italians, they got everything here, Tim Dillon. Bagels down here.
Yeah.
You got Wawa, you got some tremendous pretzels. I'll blast one of those in olive oil at night when I'm stoned. Who the fuck eats a pretzel with olive oil? Uncle Joey, cocksuckers. So when you wake up in the morning, your shit, it comes out like a fucking missile out of your asshole. No pushing, no fucking gurgling, no nothing.
It's 10 times. The East Coast is just 10 times better food than LA.
My God, it is so fucking good.
Yeah,
it is so
gotta
good.
Be careful. Yeah,
the Chinese is off.
Joey didn't.
I got a Chinese
that
place.
Was one thing I thought was cool. Joey didn't say anything about it being better because Tim Dillon's also from the East Coast, right? So he was like, they got their food over there is 10 times better than LA, and Joey just was like, the Chinese food. You know, he starts telling like he doesn't agree with him, but he's not rude to him either. You know. So he's just like, the Chinese in our area, like, is fucking, ooh. Then he starts talking about a little, it goes on, and I don't want the clip to be too long, but he goes on talking about there's some little Chinese place, like, he said, it's 80 yards from where I live. And he said that there's some little, like, Chinese lady that always hooks him up. He was like, you order $50 worth of food and they give you $120 worth of food, you know, and all this shit.
For sure.
And so it's something that he digs that is special to him. So that's different than saying like, you can't get this shit. Nothing's better than this, blah, blah, blah. That's one thing. But saying that you know what? Saying, okay, this ain't the greatest shit in the world, but to me, it is. You know, in my opinion, to me, it is. You know, to everybody else, I know it may not be. But to me, it is. Like I said, like the Mr. G burrito. You know, if I get a Mr. G bean and cheese, I'm like, fuck, that's... Dog, earlier, I texted my sister, and I was like, hey, because I was trying to set this shit up before I got you on. Right. And I was like, hey, Joel, I was like, are you busy? And she's like, I'm in line at Mr. G's. She's like, why, what's up? So, Doug, that's how fucking, like, much of a staple it is into, like, our fucking lives, you know?
For sure. And I'll say this, too. I mean...
She already went.
People out there utilize Yelp. Okay, I just did a little fact check, and in the whole country of the United States, there's 333 million people, right? And in Los Angeles County alone, there's 10 million of those 333. So again, if you're saying you can't get something when 3% of the whole population is one congested area, you're not trying hard enough. It just is what it is. And so, you know, I don't necessarily think that you can't get that stuff. You can. If you go to LA or you go to San Francisco, you can get whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? Because even right here it says New York County, there's only fucking 1,006,600 in there. LA County, there's 10 million, bro. So I find it hard to believe myself.
I don't know if people actually give that like actually think about that, dog. It's LA County.
Right.
It's not,
which is huge.
It's not the state of California.
The California Angels don't play right next to fucking Disneyland, and they sure as hell don't play next to the Lakers or the Clippers. Like, there's separation. Anaheim is LA County, I believe. You want to call me out? Call me out, please. But point being is that you can drive in like 45 minutes through LA. You know what I'm saying? If you're going through the county. So I don't know what the city of Los Angeles has versus the city of New York. But I know the county of Los Angeles is big. And if there's something you can find somewhere in America, I promise to God, if you utilize Yelp or like Google search engine, you can find it in Los Angeles County. So anyways, long story short, I totally agree with Covino. Once it was spun in that aspect and kind of the comparison you made with the bean burrito and how it's special to you, that's different. You know what I'm saying?
Bean and cheese, all right. The bean burrito's okay, but bean and
Frijoles
cheese,
y queso.
You gotta have, Doug. You know, one thing that I've seen people do recently, Doug. I've been eating this shit for fucking 33 years, right? Okay. One thing that I recently seen people do, that I didn't even know was an option, is they'll add. Nah, fuck no, not a bean and cheese, Doug. Are you fucking high? Are you fucking high? Wait, never mind. So, no, they'll put, they'll ask when they order the burrito, they'll ask for it with extra cheese. Holy fuck, Doug. Like, that shit is fucking
Is it shredded or is it like Cheese Whiz?
No, it's shredded.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so fucking dope, too, because they
double me up with some extra.
It's one of those places where they're making them. It's like like basically like a Chipotle. You know, at Chipotle they throw your shit there in front of you, or like on Subway. So
Yes.
the people
I feel
making
good about
the
that.
burritos are right there. You know, so you'll see them, Doug. They just grab the tortilla, throw the cheese on top, on it, and then they fucking throw the hot ass beans fresh out the pot on it. As soon as they do that, the fucking cheese melts all hard. They roll up the burrito. Oh, they're fucking. It's just.
Hey,
fucking,
so check it out. When I come visit, bro, that's the first place we got to go. We got to go to Mr. G's.
Doug, you know what? I was talking to Luis yesterday, and I told him, I was like, Doug, I had this shit that when it comes to like texting and shit, like dirty talking shit, I'm not like the greatest, like, oh, I'm gonna fucking just wait till I get a hold of you and all this shit, right? So I told him, what I gotta do is I have to get my ass. Hey, babe, you want to say hi to Uncle Cucuy?
Okay. I don't know where the camera can see me.
Right there.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I was just.
He can't. Oh, she can't hear you. He said, how are you?
Oh, good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
I'm gonna head out, but.
You know what I need to do? I need to grab like a fucking dope ass like cheeseburger or something that I'm just like, wait till I'm fucking starving, right? And fucking grab this shit, and then just text all the shit to my girl that I want to do to this burger, right? Just be like, fuck, man, you look so fucking bomb. Oh my god, I can't wait to get my hands on you. Just all this shit that I'm talking to this fucking.
It might translate.
You know, and then so it'll just be like, oh fuck, I'm like, damn, I'm not real good at being like, oh yeah, just
I want to eat the whole thing.
It kind of goes to like one of those memes, like where it's like, hey, what can you say at a restaurant that you can also say during sex and shit like that?
Yeah.
That's basically like along the same like line of thought or whatever, train track of thoughts or whatever the fuck the phrase is. I'm Mexican, so I don't know the actual phrase, but yeah, man. You know what? One of the things that fucking Covino couldn't get over, and he talked about this on his Behind the Velvet Rope when he was watching the Jake Paul fight, and he also brought it up again like Monday or Tuesday. But when they had fucking, Rich went to the East Coast. He got to see Greg for a while and shit. You know, got to spend time with the family and friends.
Richie, he's got a head on his shoulders.
He got to, oh yeah, if you don't put that kid in modeling, then where the fuck you at? You know?
Yeah, he looks like Richie, and Emily looks like Sarah. Like, where the fuck you at?
Hey, who the fuck is Emily, Doug?
Oh, Emily, Emmy. Emmy, bro, Emmy.
Doug, you got so into your Greg impression, you started freaking. You're like, and where the fuck?
Where you at?
Oh fuck, Doug. That was just funny because you're like, and Emily looks exactly like Tara. I'm like, who the fuck is Emily and Tara?
Sorry, Rich. Sorry.
You're like, I don't want to get sued, so we're using fake names. Oh shit, dog, you froze up.
So stat correction fact, middle of our show.
No, fuck. Well, I was gonna tell you something and I completely forgot about Greg. Oh, so Covino was talking about Greg, Doug, and he was saying, he was like, I don't know what it was because I still haven't watched the Behind the Velvet Rope where Rich went through a bunch of shit with Greg, but Covino said that. Did you watch it or not yet?
Not all the way. I saw a little bit.
Okay, I haven't seen any of it, but Covino said that Greg was. He said he was like slapping around toys and shit or something. There was shit that wasn't working, and he said Greg was like, I don't know what it was. I don't know, to be honest, but he said there was shit that he was like, no wonder that shit don't work. Greg was fucking hitting it like this shit's not working, and he was like, you know,
it's not working. What's going on, Richie?
And see, Doug, what made me laugh is I was like, Doug, you know what? I'm like, I just think about like my Nintendo and shit, like when I was a kid, right?
Right.
And Doug, when that shit wasn't working, there was two things I was doing.
Hold on, can I guess the first one? Number one, let me guess.
What?
You blew in the cartridge.
Of course. That's number one for sure, 100%.
Number two, you unplugged it and plugged it back in.
Nope. Love you. No, I just fucking hit the fucking Nintendo like
on the top. Like, you smacked the top.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
right.
And
hey, and say what you want about it, but
shit worked.
90% of the time, you got it to work, right?
Between blowing in the cartridge and smacking the top, the motherfucker turned back on.
Exactly, Doug. And see, so it was funny because it was funny because as soon as Covino said that Greg was slapping shit around, I was like, of course, dog. I was like, I still do that shit to this day. Like,
Both
not
the original,
necessarily like
both the original Nintendo and the 64 and the Sega Genesis, you had to do that shit too.
Yeah, I remember.
And it worked on all of them.
The Super Nintendo, dog. I would slap the shit out of the Super Nintendo because that was more like my era. The Nintendo, I was a little younger, so like I would still like slap it around and shit, but it was more like my brother shit. But I learned that, so when I got my Super Nintendo, dog, I was slapping the shit out of that, and I would, it would work. It would work. And so I think Greg still has that like 80s, 90s mentality because think about it. In the 80s and 90s, Greg was like in his like 30s or something, right?
Yeah.
So or maybe even 40s, who knows? But what do you call it? Let me see. Yeah, if it was 80s, Greg's like I think 70. So what? Minus fucking 30 years, he was like 40 roughly, right? Okay. So he's had that shit instilled in him for fucking 30 years, dog. He's still gonna slap shit around because it's been working for the last 30, 40 years of him slapping shit around to get it to work.
He slaps his toaster. He slaps the fucking DVD player.
That's me too, dog. See, I'll do that shit. Like, I won't do it to like my laptop, my camera, shit that I paid like an excessive amount of money for. Okay. But if it's like my toaster or my fucking can opener or dog, anything, dog, say my fridge stops fucking working, dog, I'll slap that bitch around before I go buy a new one.
Vending machines. You got to slap around a vending machine too.
Doug, and sometimes it's so funny because I feel like it's kind of like these electronics like will kind of like go to sleep, And it's sure. Like, Doug, it's like in a UFC fight. Have you seen, Doug? They'll fucking be fighting. They'll punch somebody. The dude's lights are out. They punch him again because how they keep punching till the ref pulls them out. Yeah. They'll punch him. The dude will be out cold. And before the ref can go and pull him off, they'll punch him again, and they'll come to. I feel like that's what our electronics and appliances do, Doug. I think that's
the definition of slapping the shit out of somebody.
So they start to break.
You bring them back.
Boom. You fucking slap that shit or you hit it, and it brings it back. I've done that shit, like I said, with fucking toasters and shit.
What happened? Okay, all right, I'm ready, fucker. Let's go. That's when you're back. And you're mad.
100%, Doug.
Hey, if you come back from that, that's when you're pissed off.
Yeah, Doug. But I thought that was so funny, and I'm so appreciative that we have an outlet like this to fucking voice our opinions and shit. Because Doug, like that was something where I wanted to call up and shit and be like, hey, fucking, but. It was Rich. It was Covino's like behind the velvet rope, and then whenever he was talking about it on the show, I was working and I couldn't call in, and so I'm glad that we have this to where I can actually talk about it because I have such a passion for something as stupid as that.
What's crazy is I think Spot should have a behind the velvet soap where he fucking updates everyone when his stinky ass is finally taking a shower.
I hope he's updating that. Do you have a story on a stinky scenario or no?
I do, dude. I fucking I had shower before bed Wednesday night, had to work Thursday. Showered up 9-10 o'clock on Wednesday or whatever, got up Thursday, went to work. I work out of town, so I had to drive. Worked all day. Well, I ended up staying at my buddy's house in Santa Barbara after work, and just didn't work out in the morning, man. Everyone was still asleep, didn't want to impose, didn't want to start looking around. I was on the first floor, and that just had a regular restroom with no shower, or I would have got my ass in there and showered. But I definitely didn't want to hungover go up and explore his pad on my own on the upper level and start looking for a shower. So I had to just brush my teeth, throw on some deodorant, hit a little baby powder, got a little travel size to keep fresh, my little man bag, and hit some socks, hit some baby powder, and I had to go about my day that way. And trying to move out to Lompoc, so I was out there looking at houses. So I had to go meet a real estate agent and look at houses and all kind of other shit. And, these are beach areas. So, when I drove there the first time in the car, it was air conditioned. We didn't really do any crazy strenuous work. So I never really cracked a sweat. And even in Santa Barbara, the weather was like 65 and we were kicking it. You know what I'm saying? So I never got funky or stinky or sweaty or worked up or nothing like that. But it just man, I don't know. By the end of the day on Thursday, when I had went, I'm sorry, Friday, showered Wednesday night, had a full day Thursday, didn't get a chance to shower Friday morning. I don't know, man. I just felt, I don't know. I don't understand how Spot does it again. I didn't do no strenuous yoga. I didn't do no crazy activities. I didn't even really crack a sweat. But you got to wash your butt and you got to wash your armpits. Like, you can only roll deodorant over that shit so many times. And then it brought to another thing. It's like, okay, if he's going 3 days without a shower, please tell me that man is still brushing his teeth at least once a day. You know how I brushed my teeth that day? I went into the gas station. I had an empty little bottle of water, a little 16 ounce that you buy like the 24, the 35 packs. So I had an empty one. Went into the gas station, bought a big ass one, did my little mouthwash, spit it in the bottle, brushed my teeth in my car. You know what I'm saying? Put water in my mouth, waterfalled it because I don't want to contaminate my good water bottle. So I waterballed it, switched it around, spit it into the empty bottle. But you got to brush your teeth. I mean, I don't know, man. I did that in my car. And that was about the only thing I could do.
You want to hear something fucking funny that you say that? Because this morning I got up, brushed my teeth, did my whole routine, right? And I had to get all this shit set up because right now I'm doing the show in my kitchen. I'm doing the show in my living room. I'm doing it at my office, so
strip club.
every week. Oh, dog, those were the days. But, every week I'm doing it somewhere different for just whatever's convenient for me. And I fucking got up this morning, brushed my teeth, did my routine. And then right before we started, like literally right before we started, I'm literally right here in my kitchen and I have a fucking toothbrush right here. Right. So I fucking, Doug, right before we fucking started, I'm going to record right now. I was like, okay, so you want to be fresh. You want to feel fresh. And like, I'll freshen up even like my cologne and shit.
No, we
I brush my
want to
teeth.
feel fresh. Obviously Spot don't.
Yeah, Doug, it's crazy to me. Cause I'm just like, that's just part of like, and Doug, that's one of the things that like, when it comes to like cleaning and shit, like right now, dog, my house is a fucking disaster. Right. And I'm just like, I'm so uncomfortable. Like I am like physically uncomfortable. Like I will get anxiety until I clean the fucking house, know? Right. And for me, it's just like part of it like is being clean, cleaning your house, washing your ass, fucking brushing your teeth. Like to me, those are the most basic, essential things that somebody can do. And when you're talking about, you went to California and shit, or you're in California, but you were saying that you went on this trip and you guys didn't do much and you still felt fucking gross, right? You're in the car, you're in this fucking house or whatever, you're talking to realtors and you're in the AC, whatever.
Right.
You still feel fucking gross, right? And Spot is doing yoga and then chilling and then getting funky with his lady, Doug.
Well, not only that, he's cooking fake bacon and all that. He's around a stove. So that's another thing to take into consideration. Like, in 3 days, he's probably cooked at least 3 things. And if you're starting cooking bacon or meat or shit with grease or just barbecue, smoke, that shit sticks to you, man. And
exactly, dog. That shit gets in your pores and shit. You start to smell like whatever the fuck you just cooked.
Yeah, I don't know, man. So again, and again, when I told you when we were talking on the phone, which, those are damn near podcasts all on their self. But
yeah, no shit.
I could easily, like I'm doing in the picture, smell my arm and it still smells like body wash from that Wednesday night shower. So I didn't sweat and I'm not, my skin still smells great. Like if you were to give me, get a hug from somebody or whatnot, I'm smelling like cologne and body wash. So it's nothing again, but dude, he's not the slimmest guy on the planet. I mean, I'm not saying he's overweight by any means, but he's a big muscular dude.
He's a thick boy. He's a thick boy. Shout out to Brendan Schaub.
Right. So just as a dude, your nuts are moving around right there, right? Obviously, if you're shaved, you're not generating as much heat as if you're not. Don't know Spotty's fucking shave status.
I do, because he talked about it before. And he said that he lets that shit go wild.
Right, which makes it that's more shit to collect moisture, right? Well, as dudes, we all know that. Don't know if he's a boxer or a tighty-whitey or a fucking boxer compression brief. But if he's a compression brief or a tighty whitey, more shit because your shit ain't breathing. You know what I mean? Obviously, if you're wearing boxers, you ain't getting the support, but more airflow is going in and out that motherfucker. So those are things as a dude that just makes that, you know, you have to take into consideration. And like, even with your socks, I don't care who you are, you can't not change your socks once a day. And even if you change them, if your feet are still funky, them fresh socks day 2 after you didn't wash your feet, you're getting like half the life as you would have got had you hopped out the shower. So all this shit to me adds up, man. So I don't know. Again, yeah, I was in that situation, but the first thing I did Friday afternoon when I got home about 2:30, 3 o'clock, hop my ass in the motherfucking shower. Straight up.
You know what, Doug, that and I don't want to harp so much on like hygiene and shit, but Doug, but that's just like, I remember I was with a homie one time and he was like, Doug, I think he had showered like that morning or something, right? And we were gonna chill and watch something. And he was like, hold on. He was like, I'll be right back. I'm going to go wash my feet real quick. You know, because I don't know if we had, like, played basketball or what the fuck we had done. But it was something where he was like, hold on. Before this shit settles on my fucking feet, I'm going to go wash my feet and get some, like, fresh socks or whatever the fuck, right?
Yeah. But even speaking of that, right, let's just say you went and bought the LeBrons, the brand new ones for $230. Or you got a limited, you know, a J's, the Jordan 4s or 5s, right? You picked up a drop. Like, really, dude, do you want to be 2 or 3 days old and just try to think you're going to change socks and put those fresh kicks on and think that it's cool? You're going to start baking bread in those motherfuckers, right? Like, you got to have clean everything, dude. I don't know. That's just me. My butthole needs to be washed once a day. My armpits need to be fucking scrubbed once a day. And then you can roll deodorant right on and feel good about it because you're clean. I don't feel good about rolling deodorant on pits that haven't been washed. I don't feel like trying to cover up fucking feet smell with fucking baby powder because you couldn't shower. That's just not my jam, bro.
Doug, I want to fucking start a hashtag ACE, hashtag ACE, Doug. All clean everything.
Yes.
I think, Doug, that we have to wear a shirt. Hashtag ACE. There's a YouTube family that my girl watches, the Ace family, so I don't want it to get confused because we're not them. But fucking all clean everything, Doug.
All clean everything.
Hashtag ACE, dog. Clean your feet, clean your ass, wash your fucking butt, clean your armpits, brush your teeth, fucking, you know, trim up your body hair, dog, so you're not so funky, you know?
Right.
Don't come on now.
2022 damn near. Get you a Manscaped little razor. Fucking trim your fucking fouls. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, man, even your butthole. I'm not one to wax your butthole. That's not really my deal. I'm the Cucuy. I ain't never waxed my butthole. But I ain't mad at you if you do. if you do, because if you do, you ain't getting no damn dingleberries. That's pretty much. You know what I'm saying? If you shower daily, there ain't no
100%.
fucking fuzz. Pull your
100%.
belly button fuzz out. Clean your shit.
Oh, Doug. Speaking of fucking Manscaped, Doug, I have a fucking
bro. You just went a downward motion. Don't show the YouTube,
Doug,
bro.
Speaking of Manscaped,
hey, bro, hey.
Speaking of Manscaped, no. So check this shit out, Doug. I was so fucking disappointed. I bought this was like maybe like 6 months to a year ago. I bought the Manscaped lawnmower. Fuck, hold on.
Please tell your story because I've almost bought one, so I'm very curious to make sure the decision I made was correct. Because I have a little like beard trimmer, and it's not a Manscaped. It doesn't have all the hype and it doesn't have all the fucking promo and the ads and all that bullshit. But it works pretty good. But the promo for what you're about to tell us right now almost had me purchasing one probably about 5 different times. Just never pulled the trigger.
So hear this shit. So Manscaped, I hear them advertising all kinds of shit, and I'll give you a 2-part to this story. So part 1 is I bought the 3.0, right? The lawnmower 3.0 Manscaped shit, right?
Right.
And it worked like fucking nobody's business, right? I loved it. I loved it. And I saw people reviewing it saying, oh, you know, you can buy better shit for less money and all this shit. Like I saw reviews on YouTube on it and shit. Okay. And you know, there's a couple of things that are 100% true about this thing. Is that one, you know, I've had some like little, you know, like Manscaped type clippers that, Doug, you fucking they'll like kind of, I don't want to say cut you, but you know what I'm saying? They'll be kind of they'll like irritate your skin or whatever. This one doesn't. I'll tell you that 100%.
Bro, no nicks or nothing. I'm scared of nicks, bro. I don't want to nick my precious shit.
No. 100%. I can.
You go
fucking
over the
vouch for
skin,
that.
or do you do the fucking man glide where you're about eighth of an inch? Because I do the man glide, bro. I'll be honest. I'm gonna tell all the people out there that are listening to our show. I do the man glide. I do not fucking hit the surface layer. I do about a little fucking smidgen above my shit and fucking do the little man
No,
glide.
I'll go surface layer, dog. Basically, like I'm giving like my shit a fade, right? So I'm fucking, you know how you fucking bum, but you're kind of like against like your head, right? You know, and they're fading it like this,
Yes.
right? So that's what I'll fucking do, right? I'll fucking
your
go
nuts?
against the skin. No, I go straight razor on nuts, dog. Come on,
Really?
100%, dog. Straight razor, dog.
You
My
ain't ever
fucking-
cut your shit or what?
Fuck, of course I have, dog. Fucking been
Yeah,
doing this
fuck
shit
that.
for 20
You're-
fucking years.
Yeah.
And Doug, and I'll tell you
don't
one
go there,
thing.
bro. Cucuy's not slicing
Doug,
and dicing.
You fucking and
I'm scared,
I've done
eh?
this shit. I've done this shit with like a Gillette, like 5-blade Pro Glide and shit, dog. And like,
Well, it
believe
doesn't
me,
sound
I
like
have-
that fucker was gliding if you got cut.
Well, dog. Okay, I've been doing this shit for like 20 years, dog. Tell me in 1999,
You've been shaving your nuts
Fucking-
for 20 years?
dog. I'm 33. Of course I have, dog.
You've been shaving your nuts since you were 13?
Yeah, dog. We even
Yeah.
sometimes, dog. Sometimes, shout out to my homie Alex, who I don't think I've ever talked about on this show, but one of my fucking best friends from high school. We even had a thing, dog, that
You guys had a
sometimes like, no, check this shit out. So sometimes you would get you'd get like a hair up your ass, like if you were fucking, since we were going, you know, full potato sack shave, right? Sometimes you get a hair up your ass, dog, and you just go everything, right? You just go straight. Well, everything, 100% everything, dog. Fucking, you look like a newborn baby, right? And what we would call that, dog, that would happen like once every like 2 years, right? Because I'd be like, fuck it, let's see what happens, right? We would call that going full cholo. So
No, wait. I gotta. Going full cholo means what?
getting rid of everything. Every hair God ever gave you in that area.
And that's going full cholo?
Yeah, because you know cholos shave their head, right? Cholos are bald, completely
Yeah.
bald, right? So that was okay. During high school, I
I've never
did
met
that.
one who was open about shaving his butthole, though. Not that it didn't happen,
Well,
but he never said, "Hey, Holmes, check it out." I figured.
yeah,
it out,
no,
eh?
but this is
I
the
fucking
reason it's
shave
full
my
cholo.
asshole, and I get
Shave-
all the bitches.
You shave your head. You shave your head, right? 100% clean fucking head. All my
Right.
cousins that shave their head, dog, they shave it. They even fucking,
Yeah.
they're filling it.
They use
They're
that
fucking-
palm. They
shit.
even use that palm razor. Look like the palm comb, but the fuckers are blade. Fuckers are
Exactly.
smooth with their shit, boy.
And see, no, so it's called going full cholo, something that me and Alex made up fucking
It's dope.
in
I
like,
like
2003 maybe.
it. All right.
2002, 2003, because we were freshmen in high school at that time.
I was gonna
and-
say, what are you about 15?
Yeah, so we were literally, let me see, if it was 2003, 88, 98, 99, 2001.
Bro, no, don't finger count, bro. You're cheating. Hey, at least use the old school Casio or something. Fuck Siri.
Okay, Doug was 15. All right, don't be looking
Siri,
at my
how old was I
calculator.
in 2004.
It looks like I don't have your contact.
Oh, thanks. You real fucking helpful. Sorry, bro. Continue. She was gonna expose my ass anyways and tell private info that I'm not trying to give up right now. So
All
please
right, all
continue.
right. Well, yeah, Doug. So we fucking okay. So yeah, back to the original discussion.
Full cholo story.
So you go full cholo, right? So I feel like the huevos always have to be fucking smooth as eggs, right? That's why they're huevos, right? So, but I'll tell you this, dog. In the handful of times that I've nicked my shit, I'll say maybe.
But what do you
5
do when you
times.
nick it? Like, what if you nick it bad? How do you fucking service that motherfucker? What are you doing? How do you repair the bandage? What do you got cracking?
Okay, well, most of the time, dog, you're in the shower, so you just let the fucking cold water. You put some cold water on that shit and let it run over it, right? And what you do, dog, but I'll tell you,
No
that is
Neosporin?
one. Of course, dog. This is when you get out the shower. You don't have Neosporin in the shower,
Oh,
but dog, you get fucking out the shower. You fucking all right. You fucking you know, but I'll tell you one thing, dog. If you ever, this is for anybody that's listening to this shit that's ever fucking gone full cholo on the huevos, Doug, if you ever nick that shit, that is one thing, Doug, that will bleed for like 6 days, Doug.
Yeah, no, I'm not down.
It will,
again.
Doug,
you just highlighted why air surface, because I'm not fucking with that.
Yeah, that shit will bleed for fucking ever, Doug.
That is the last place on my body that I'm trying to have fucking open wounds, bro. No fucking thank you. No.
Well, check this shit out, Doug. So back to the Manscaped, right? So that shit, that Manscaped, fucking awesome, right? Awesome. Best trimmer shit I've ever had. That fucking dope. Okay. The only thing is, my only complaint is that it only lasted me like a month, because it says that it's like waterproof and all this shit, and you can use it in the shower and this and this. Dog, I don't know if my shit got fucked up or if my shit was defective when I bought it.
Well, it sounds like you used that fucker about 500 to 1,000 times in that month.
Hey, man, ACE, baby. I'll clean everything, all right?
Hey, I'm with it.
Hey, so, Doug, this shit stopped charging after, like, fucking... And to be honest, fucking the Manscaped doesn't go to the huevos, dog. You go with the fucking Gillette Pro Glide fresh blade on that shit. Woo. So but the
Does
fucking
at least have an aloe strip at the top or what?
Of course, dog. Of course, 100%, dog.
Goodness, and the Pro Glide, I'm gonna have nightmares over this fucking topic.
The you got to go Pro Glide, or so it's the power one, right? So you put a AAA battery in that bitch and you hit it, and it's like,
no, you put batteries in that shit and hit it.
And the fucking Pro Glide, the 100%, fucking the Gillette. Bro. I'll fucking go grab my shit right now, dog, to show you.
Well, Stale Cracker would say, you learned yourself something today, dude. I did.
Doug, I have 2 separate little cartridges, right, that has like the 5 blades in it. One is for my face, and one is for other shit. So,
and
Doug,
what kind of shaving cream you using?
There's one. Okay, so my girl used to sell this shit, that Pure Romance shit that I told you. Remember that horse shit?
Yeah.
There's one called
Pure Balmance.
Fuck no. What was it called? There's one shaving cream that they have for chicks that's supposed to be like leave you smooth afterwards and shit. Doug, that's the shit you go to. It's called
what's the one Covino?
I think it's called Body Dew, or it's called something like that, but it's fucking, that shit's dope. I either use that or there's a one for dudes through Pure Romance called Titan. Doug, so look at, just to prove this shit, I got fucking.
You're not shaving your shit on screen, are you?
No, Doug. I got 2 sets of these little cartridges.
Right.
So one is
are they
for your face.
cartridges, or are they something else?
Nah, these are the ones. These are the ones for this. They're actually, you push a button on.
Yeah, I've seen those things.
So this shit, you push the button on it. This is the Gillette Pro Glide, whatever, Fusion or some shit. Yeah. So these are, Doug, you got and then you're asking about the shaving cream and shit, Doug. This is one that's by Pure Romance. I like using the chick one because that one's like fucking so dope. But this one's a close second. This one's, Doug, and this ain't a sponsorship for Pure Romance. But if you do want some of the shit, I'll fucking put a link in here.
Shout out your sister and her Pure Romance brand.
Yeah, Pure Romance by Jalissa. If you want to get some shit,
Jalissa.
I'll have her give you a discount. So Pure Romance by Jalissa. If you want to see
AB show later.
Yeah, so there's gonna be a link in the shit right here. If you want to buy something for your fucking lady or for yourself in this case, fucking Pure Romance, just get the link down and below.
Or send it to Cucuy. This one's called. I mean, I take donations.
Doug, look at this one. Do you see this one? It's Pure Romance, Titan Conditioning Shave Cream, Doug.
Yeah.
This one right here, Doug,
so can one of our listeners hook the Cucuy up so I can try this?
Doug, I'll send you a container of this shit. This shit's fucking so good, Doug.
You know what? As a side note, there's a dude at work and he has this shit called fucking Pud Butter, bro.
Pud Butter?
Yeah, I guess men are supposed to use it in the shower because it doesn't burn.
Oh, for real?
For real,
Pud
for real.
Butter.
Pud Butter.
Pud butter. I've never heard of that shit, dog.
You're welcome. But I've never used it, so I can't vouch.
So get this shit, dog. So anyway, my Manscaped shit lasted like a month before it just wouldn't charge anymore.
Really?
So yeah. So I don't, Doug. So I even bought another charger. I went as far as buying another charger.
Yeah.
Didn't fucking charge. I charged plugging it into the wall. I tried plugging it in because it has like a USB little thing. Plugged it into my computer. Bought a new charger. Nothing, dog. That shit. I still have the little Manscaped shit in my drawer somewhere. It's just dead. It fucking. I don't know what the fuck to do with it. So, but I'll say this.
Bro.
I don't know if it was like a defective one or what. And I could have like sent it back because I got mine off of Amazon. I could have sent it back to Amazon and shit. But I was like, to me, it was too much trouble. I'm like, yeah, that shit was like $75, but I was like, still, I was just like, to me, it's not worth the hassle of like going to fucking UPS and shit and packaging that shit and then contacting fucking Manscaped and being like, hey, send me another one, or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
To me, it wasn't worth it. So, but what I'll do is like in the next month, I'll give you a review on the lawnmower 4.0.
Well, you know what?
Because they just came out.
I actually had something for that. We're getting a little sponsorship. Here you go.
Do you come here often?
Girl.
Okay.
Buster Smooth. Get it back.
It's a Manscaped 4.0 they're talking about.
Oh, is it?
Keep it.
Did you just shave your balls and beehole?
Is that what you're gonna do, bro?
Isn't it time you got your smooth back? Get the Lawnmower 4.0 from manscaped.com.
Are you gonna shave your balls and beehole?
Not with the fucking lawnmower 4.0, dog.
All right.
Not
the
with
Gillette
that.
with the Gillette with the button on it.
That with the Gillette with the button.
Shout out Gillette.
Hey, shout out to Gillette for these things, dog, because these motherfuckers, I've been using these for like over 10 years. Because they've always like, first they had the Gillette, whatever, Pro Glide or some shit or whatever. Then they came out with like the Fusion. Then they came out with like Power Pro Glide Fusion or whatever. Dog, those give me, dog, when I'm talking about my face now. Dog, when I fucking shave my face, dog, it looks like I could never grow facial hair in my life. It's so fucking smooth, dog. So, if Gillette wants to send us some free shit, send it to the after show, but later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like them little vouchers, like when they have a bunk product and you call in the customer service line, they see them little fucking freebie vouchers with the seal on it. Shoot them over to us. We'll use them.
I'll cut up a clip just so we could send this to Gillette and have them fucking send us some free shit.
Hell yeah. What else you got into from the show?
I have so much shit, dog. So I don't want it to be all fucking DZF baby based. Do you have anything, or do you want me to go to something next? Because I have plenty.
Sure. Me too. Go for it.
Shitting. I don't even know what this fucking means. Shitting bathroom situation. I don't know. But you know what? Let me pull this right here. So this week, dog, fucking Rich was talking about Adrian Grenier, right?
Okay.
And he kept saying, Adrian Grenier. He was doing that Pee Wee Herman shit, right? So he was like, oh, nobody knows how to say it. Oh, it's one of those names. I'm like, dog, it's not one of those names. It's not one of those weird names that has like an extra K in it and you don't pronounce it.
Weren't you in the chat too? You were in the chat, weren't you?
I was in the chat for a fucking minute, dog. And I was like, hey, motherfucker, right? And it was like, it's Gren, Gren, yay, I-E-R, right? I'm pretty sure that's how you spell it. Okay. It's just like French or something, right? Grenier. It's just like au revoir, type of shit. So it's Grenier. And Rich was saying like, because people in the chat, I was one of them, Rich was saying like, these people, they think they know. They think they know. Well, we've partied with him. Okay, Rich. Cool. Nice little name drop right there, homie. Fucking, I partied with Adrian Grenier. Cool. You want to go star, motherfucker? Now, what I'll tell you is that you can have partied with them all you wanted. And you told me something before we started. You said, did he introduce himself, or did you just call him the wrong shit and he didn't correct you, right?
Right. Absolutely.
So, I have something we can settle this debate.
Because you know what, I got a question for you. A debate I got, since you know it's going to give me an opportunity. I always thought, because the way Covino says it from time to time, your name was Daniel Javier Feets. Right?
Oh,
and
you know what? Baseline Trey asked me that too.
And I asked you about it. Is it Feets or is it Fitz? And we had our answers. So the thing is like I can think whatever I want, but which I thought the whole time we've been doing this podcast up until I asked you a month ago, I thought it was Daniel Javier Feets. But when I asked you, you told me something different. So again, did Rich just call him that, or did he hit him up and say, "Hey, bro, how should I pronounce your name?"
Yeah, Rich goes, "Hey, nice to meet you, Adrian." And he goes, "Hey, yeah, that's me, Adrian." You know,
Right.
like he didn't fucking correct him. So, but anyway, for anybody wondering, I don't know if Covino says that about my name jokingly, or if it's because I'm Mexican, he thinks it's feet. But that part of my name, the Fitz, is from my grandpa, my dad's dad, who is from fucking Louisiana. He's a white dude from Louisiana, right? But my dad was born in Mexico. So I'm sure my dad, you know, growing up pronounced it Feets, you know, but it's fucking Fitz coming from his dad, right?
Right.
It's Fitz.
Well, and it's how you want it said, out of respect. It's how you say it is. Right. I don't even need the back history. It's how you want to be addressed.
Hey, the one time I won't agree with, they could tell me how it's supposed to be said. But I'm like, I don't give a fuck, and it's not like I'm ever going to meet them. Fucking Rihanna. She says it's pronounced Rihanna. Like, right. On an episode of Ellen, I remember she said, Ellen was like, there's a debate of is it Rihanna or Rihanna? And she said it's Rihanna. And Ellen, and she was like, but you can call me whatever you want. You know, she was
I'm
cool
calling her
about
Rihanna.
It. So she, you know, she's cool about it because she's fucking almost perfect, right? In my eyes, right? So,
well,
so
you know
she
what,
was
dude?
like,
I'm a grocery guy, so I'm big on that. Like people, especially with these new generation people and these new moms and for over even since 2001, 2099, they started. Covino Rich has had a debate. Is it SEAN for Sean? Is it SHAUN for Sean? Is it SHAW for Sean? And like Covino, I've known people where their name was Sean and it was spelled all three different ways, you know, three different dudes. So I don't really give a shit how anybody wants their fucking name pronounced or said. If it's Rihanna, cool. If it's Rihanna, cool. I don't give a shit. But for me, being a retail guy and being in management and trying to be a true leader and earn the respect of teammates, I'll call you whatever you want. If you say it's Rihanna, it's Rihanna. If you say it's Rihanna,
oh no, and honestly,
you know what I mean?
Out of like,
if you say it's Rich, respect, I'm still gonna call you Dickie. I don't know.
Out of respect to Rihanna, if I ever met her, I would be like, "Hey, nice to meet you, Rihanna." Right? I'm not gonna be a dick and be like, "No, it's Rihanna."
It's my way.
She was nice about it.
It looks like Rihanna, so that's what I'm gonna call you. Fuck off. No.
Yeah, and I could fuck off because I'll call her Rihanna for the rest of my life unless I ever meet her. Then it'll be like, "Hey, Rihanna."
I'm with Covino. I like Feets better, but if you say it's Fitz, I'm calling you Fitz.
I don't know why Feet.
I like it. I don't know, bro. I like it.
I don't know. Like, to me, it's just like, I don't know if it's just because like it's not it. So to me, I'm like, I understand like if you are saying it in Spanish, the I makes it eat, you know. So it is feet, you know. But I don't know if it's because I think it's because when Covino was first saying it, the Javier would throw him off. So you know, Daniel Javier Fitz. You know, it wouldn't be like Daniel Javier Fitz. You know, but for me, that's. You know, and for me, it's Daniel Javier. It's not even Javier, you know. You would never forget.
You can't. You don't want the in it?
It like on Rugrats, it's Hanukkah.
Hanukkah. You have the when you say it.
But to me, it's always been Fitz as long as I've grown up. And it could be partially because I don't fucking know Spanish, right? My Spanish is terrible. But at the same time, it could be, I mean, at the same time, the name comes from my fucking white grandpa that's from fucking Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? So Fitz. You know, I was named after my great grandpa, who's also Daniel Fitz, and he was from Louisiana. You know, coming back to the Adrian Grenier, I have the man himself. Let's go ahead and let's go to the tape, Johnny.
Hi, my name is Adrian Grenier. I'm an actor.
All right, did you hear that?
Sorry, I did not mean to interrupt. Yes, I did, but can I hear it one more time, please?
Like, one more time? All right.
I heard Grenier.
Hi, my name is Adrian Grenier. I'm an actor.
Exact. That's what I heard.
Grenier.
One more time for the people that fucking didn't hear it.
Yeah. You know what? Check it out.
Hi, my name is Adrian
Davis,
Grenier. I'm an actor.
This is for you.
Hi, my name is Adrian Grenier. I'm an actor.
Just admit you were wrong. Call him Adrian Grenier and move on.
Right? So, yeah, man, I think that was one that I wanted to just get the debate settled, because I know, you know, as people, as, you know, Americans, and shout out to all of our Canadian listeners, but as, you know, as this generation, I think it's hard for a lot of people to admit when they're wrong. But Rich, come on, Rich.
Hi, my name is Adrian Grenier. I'm an actor.
You know, so that's one of the things. Do you have something next, and then I can get into something else?
Yeah, what about Rich? He was saying that he had a buddy who was preferring to stay at a hotel with my buddy and me. What about Kid Sister?
Oh, bro? I'm glad you're getting into this, because I missed this conversation.
What about Kid Sister? Remember the Kid Sister?
I don't even remember My Buddy. I just know they referenced it on the show.
You don't remember the My Buddy doll, bro?
No, dog. When did that shit come out?
Well, I had real buddies, so I never had the My Buddy doll. But like the lonely little nerdy white kids that I knew,
I had real buddies, dog.
Fuck, I was kicking it with Tippy and fucking Rudy and fucking Columbo and Brendan. I had real buddies. I didn't have My Buddies. I had the doll. I had real buddies, but there wasn't My Buddy doll. And for girls, it was Kid Sister. But anyhow, Rich was talking about he had a buddy who preferred staying at a hotel and not his girlfriend's parents' house. And I think he said there was some kind of misunderstanding where maybe the parents were taking it the wrong way, or people were chiming in saying, you know, their opinion or whatnot. And for me, the question is either side. I don't care if it's your side of the family or it's an in-law side of the family. The debate was, do you stay with family or do you appear to be rude by getting your own room?
Like what family? Like my family, my girl's family?
To me, it doesn't matter. You can set the scene however the hell you want to.
Okay, because for me, if it's my family, then I'm definitely staying with them. I don't give a fuck how old I am. If they fucking tell me, if it's my cousins in LA, or it's my fucking girl, or it's fucking whatever, or, you know, like, what I'm staying with the family 100%. I don't care. If it's my girl's family, I might be a little more hesitant.
Right.
Just because, like when we went to the East Coast, her family's in the East Coast. We went to Virginia, and
Virginia.
Let me see. We went to Virginia, and her family had like their basement area. They have like a finished basement and shit. It's like a little apartment. When we went, we were there for like a week, and we stayed there, and it was fucking awesome because it was like our own little. It was basically like a fucking hotel, right?
Okay.
And it's not like her parents are fucking, or her biological dad is hurting for money. He's definitely not. So it was a dope ass experience, you know. If it would be like, say, like one of her cousins or something, I might be a little more hesitant to stay there just because, like, I don't really know them as well, or, you know, it might be kind of like, I wouldn't want to impose. So if I kind of know they're like, they have a room, but they're going to make their kids sleep in the other kids' room so we can stay in their kids' room or something, I wouldn't feel great about that, you know?
No.
So if that was the case, I would want to get a hotel. But if it was something, like I said, like my father-in-law, if it was like that scenario where they had the fucking basement, like a little apartment for us, hey, when you guys come down, this shit's yours, then fucking, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, so for me, it's kind of like, you kind of it's kind of based on the scenario, on, you know, it's a case by case basis. I'm not too I'm not too hung up on either one of like, oh, it has to be this or it has to be that. What's your take on it?
Well, since this episode is sponsored by Pure Romance, shout out Jalissa, right?
Yeah.
I don't. It's not a case by case basis, and for me, it's a non-issue. I'm with Rich's homie. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't give a shit how close I am to the person. They don't know my personal business, and they don't need to know it. And I think, especially as a younger dude, like if you're in your 20s and you're on rabbit mode 3 times a day, yeah, bro, I'm not trying to stay in the basement, around the corner, upstairs, in the back fucking bedroom. I need my own space because I'm acting up. You know what I'm saying? So like,
if you're in rabbit mode, you said.
I think as you get older, obviously that slows down, but I can't imagine it being totally cool until you're at least in your 60s. Because at that point, you know what I'm saying? You can go a couple of days and it's no big deal. But as like a younger dude, I don't really get it. And I'm not trying to be over there fucking shushing around. And dude, it's $100. Most rooms across America, you can get a private room, a hotel, whatnot for $100, right? And you ain't got to fold the blankets. You ain't got to throw the towels in the corner.
In some places, you could get a dope room for $100, Doug. Like, believe me, I've stayed in some places. Like say there's say I'm a younger dude, right? Say I'm like 20 or whatever, and I have a chick who's a little questionable, right?
And you get NRBs all day or what?
Then fucking no, Doug.
Boners?
I'll go get a $39 room at the fucking Hojo or the fucking America's Best. I don't give a fuck.
You know, Hojo, Pornhub, and an NRB, right?
Yeah, Doug. Fucking, I never even stayed in a Hojo until I started fucking around with some questionable people, you know. So, but after that, Doug, I have a friend. All right, so one night I stay at the Hojo, right, and I have a friend. Shout out Marcus. He's currently in prison, but he fucking FaceTimed me in his prison cell or whatever, because they get like an iPad like an hour a week or some shit if they pay for it, you know. So Doug, so he was showing us his room. He was like, this is where I sleep, and it was like his little mattress and shit all rolled up. And then he did a little FaceTime, like, this is my pad, right? And he was in his like maroon fucking prisoner uniform.
And my spread, we boil noodles right here. We mix in crackers and all types of shit.
Well, shout out to Marcus, because I remember one time, Doug, we fucking I was at the Hojo, and he wasn't Doug. He just fucking happened to hit me up. That he was like, hey, I'm at the Hojo and I'm downstairs. Doug, he was at the fucking continental breakfast and shit. So they would he was at the breakfast downstairs, Doug, eating breakfast like he was staying at the hotel. And he had like he saw like a family there. There was like some like trashy ass poor white family from like California that was here, and he was like setting plates for them and shit, dog. This is before COVID, you know. And so like, you know, I don't know. Hey, fucking $39 a night. You know, if you're in that area and you pay $100, you're gonna get a nicer hotel. So like you said, you pay $100, you get a hotel for $100 pretty much anywhere, and it'll be decent.
I mean, you get Priceline and get that fucking Priceline Express, or you get like Expedia or any type of program you got. Motel fucking 6. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't care if it's your family or my family. I don't even want to stay at my own mom's house. I want to go over there and hang out and chill. But if I was coming from out of town, like when I did live out of town, I would just get a room. I would go over there and hang out, barbecue, kick it till they were ready to go to bed, and I would dip and I would just go back to my room. I mean, and not only that, bro, I like to chief. I like to drink beers. My mom's super religious. Like, is she going to tell me anything? No. But am I going to go over there in her room and you know, or in her kitchen and stuff 18 beers in the fridge and watch her watch me all night? It's not worth it. I'll just stick them in the fridge at the room, and then after they go to bed at like 10 or 11, I'll go back to the room and get keyed. I don't know, bro. To me, that was always the deal. I never, you know, and then you got your lady with you, and again, like, is your lady gonna feel good sticking her little Trulies in your mom's fridge too and pulling out 7 or 8 while you're over there kicking it? I mean, I'm a firm believer, like even at work, right? Like, you've seen the gentlemen that were on the show, you know, a couple episodes ago. We worked together. I'm a firm believer, bro. Like, even with those dudes, outside of that date when we went and hung out in Shelter Cove, we never kicked it. And none of us pressure each other to kick it either. You know why? Because we work together for 10 hours a day. So if I'm in town visiting family for 10 hours a day, what the fuck do I need to make it 24 hours a day for? There can be like, you show up at 8, 10 a.m., whatever. You guys have coffee, hang out, go on a hike, fucking hit the amusement park, hit a baseball game, football, whatever you do, that's fine. But for me, at some point, there's a checkout. Whether it's not, you show up at 10 a.m. and you're done at midnight. I need from midnight till the next 10 a.m. for me. Right?
Yeah, no,
I'm drinking some beers. I'm chiefing. I'm chilling with my lady. I'm just, that's my time. Like I need, whatever situation I'm in, I need a solid 10 hours for me to do me. You know what I'm saying? To get my mind right for the next day. And I'm not trying to stay at your, even bro, if I come visit you over there in Yuma, or we go meet up with Luis in Tucson, bro, I'm getting a room. I'm not, hey, Luis, can I crash on your couch? I'm sure he's cool with it, right? We're doing the show, we're hanging out, whatnot. I'm not doing that, bro. I'm taking an Uber back to my room, and I'm going back.
If I'm at Luis's pad, I am staying at his fucking house, dog, and I am walking around in my drawers like it's any other day.
No, I'm not doing that, bro. I'm staying in my private room, walking around in my drawers like this is my shit.
I feel you, but
and it's different strokes, different folks. There really is no right answer, right? Because it's what's right for you. But so going back to that conversation, I'm with that dude. I agree 100%. And that's what's great about conversation and topic and agreements and disagreements, because I'm with that cat. I'm not saying to stay at his mom's house for fucking 5 months. I'm getting an apartment or a little 1-2 bedroom house. That's how I roll. What about you, bro? You're staying at Luis's?
Doug, I'm staying at Luis's, and I don't know if did I ever tell you the story about Luis starting jiu-jitsu?
No.
Oh god, so check this out, dog. It might have been because we might have been intoxicated or something. I don't know, but it was the funniest shit ever.
I'm halfway there now, bro. I'm halfway there now. Keep going,
Doug. So he he started jiu-jitsu, right? And at the time it was probably like a month before or some shit. But he has his jiu-jitsu gi, right? So he looks like a third grader in a karate outfit, right? So it made me laugh so hard because I don't know. I'm chilling on his couch, right? And I'm watching TV.
Okay.
And he goes like to his room or whatever. And I assume he's going to use the restroom or jump in the shower or whatever.
Shout out to Doug, Room of Doom. Does he have a Room of Doom?
I don't think so.
Okay.
What's that?
Sorry, bro. Well, when I was a kid, Tip Dog, he had older brothers, and they had a fucking middle room, dude. And they would fuck us up. It was called the Room of Doom. So when you walk by the hallway, or you walk to the restroom, you had to make sure one of those fuckers didn't grab you into the Room of Doom, because if they did, they were doing like backbreakers and fucking DDTs, and they were trying to recreate all the moves on WWE, bro, on your ass in the Room of Doom. My bad, continue.
Doug, fucking the Room of Doom. Hey, my uncle had something like that, but it was always at night, and we couldn't tell our parents. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah, no, it was nothing like that at all. It was all good. Shout out, dude.
You're like,
shout
no,
out Troy.
not the
Shout
Room of Doom, no. All you see is El Cucuy's eyes get real big, and then they just fucking get their hand.
That's the Room of Dumb. That's the Room of Dumb, bro. They're trying to get you.
Dog, your shit was like the Hart family's dungeon. Shout out to Stu Hart and fucking the Hart family. And fucking no, shout out to Mike Durbin. He knows that reference, I'm sure. But
shout out Mike
and Soupy if he's listening, or fucking Marty, all those dudes, they fucking love wrestling. So the Hart family had their dungeon where they trained a lot of wrestlers,
You know what? Shout out any CNR listener that's supporting us. We appreciate you. We're just trying to bring you content that we can bring you. Obviously, as Covino said, we are not necessarily an official anything of the CNR show, because we're not. But we do what we do out of respect for the show and love for the show. And any of their followers that follow us, we love you. Thank you. We appreciate you.
100%, dog. And I fucking I actually have a couple shout outs to there's actually some that actually just recently, and I appreciate it, dog, because there's some that have recently subbed us on YouTube. And our YouTube numbers are shit. If you see them, you're like, fuck, nobody listens to the show, because a majority of our shit for a long time was only audio.
Right.
So so that's where a majority of our people listen to on Spotify and Apple and shit. But there have been people that have recently subbed on like YouTube, or there's people that listen that I didn't even know listen. Like there was a Carl in the in-show chat this week named Alejandro. So I want to say what's up to him because he said fucking shout out after show but later, and he fucking digs it. So shout out to Alejandro. And then
I saw that live when he did it.
Oh shit! And then there's a handful of people on our YouTube, like I was saying, that have recently subscribed.
Funky Monkey.
I know, dog. She don't get enough love, right? Because we haven't given her love in the last couple of weeks, and she's been
no love, bro.
Straight supporter, dog. And another Thomas David just subscribed on YouTube. Nathan Bissell, Cody Streeter. Let me see. I am Matt N. Let me see.
Matt N.
Futame Ali. I don't know who that is.
Futame Ali.
So yeah, shit ton of people, Doug. But what do you call it? Oh, so Doug, let me tell you real quick about Luis. So I'm right there. I'm watching TV. He dips for a minute. I'm thinking he goes to use the restroom, and all of a sudden,
I was thinking he was going to use that Gillette razor you were showing in the fucking screen.
No, we don't share razors, Doug. I might say at his pad, but we ain't that close. So Doug, so he fucking he comes out walking down the hall in his fucking gi, right?
Yeah.
Looking like fucking the funniest shit ever, Doug. And he starts saying like shit in like Japanese. He's like,
was that E Honda? Remember E Honda from Street Fighter?
E Honda, I do remember E Honda. So he comes out, dog, fucking just like stomping and shit, like looking like fucking doing like little fucking jiu-jitsu moves and shit, walking down the hall, and it was I
shout out Luis.
I don't know jiu-jitsu. Actually, he did get on the floor and he was showing me some shit. He was like, "Yeah, this is when you're in full guard." And I don't know who Drew is, but I guess you had some of his jitsu. But yeah, shout out to Covino to Luis, because that shit was funny as fuck. That was funny as fuck for him to do that. But Doug, you know what I found right now actually? Let me see. Let me go back to this real quick. Something that we actually just mentioned a couple of minutes ago was you asked me if I was familiar. You were like, "What? You're not fucking. You never seen the My Buddy shit?" Well,
yeah.
Doug, check this shit out. Let me go to number 4.
My buddy and me.
My buddy,
told you.
my buddy,
shit. I didn't have one.
Wherever I go, he goes.
My buddy,
my buddy, my buddy and me. Kid sister, kid sister, wherever I go,
well, shit right here.
go. Kid sister,
Kid sister.
Kid sister and me.
My Buddy and Kid Sister, each sold separately from Play School.
Hey, the connection Covino made with A&S Bagels and fucking Taylor fucking Spam was the same connection I just made right now when you played that shit. It's from my childhood. I never even had one, but you see me rocking out to it.
Yeah, Doug, that's funny as fuck. Cause you know what? That commercial was actually from 1985. So I was born in 1988, so I think I missed it by a few years. Just a few years of where I actually would have been a fan of it if I was like, I don't know. But I think out of the three of them, Spot was the only one to actually have a My Buddy, right?
I'm sure he did because he needed buddies. Everyone else had fucking buddies.
You had real buddies.
I had real buddies. What
yeah,
the fuck
Doug.
I want that
Well, let
doll
me
for,
see,
bro. Hey, instead of looking at that doll at 9:00 at night, bored as shit, with my fucking Nintendo in front of me or my Sega Genesis, and saying, "Hey, my buddy, do you want to pretend to play this controller?" No, I had a real friend over there on controller number 2. So
you know what? I have. I know we got to wrap it up soon because we've been going for a minute now. But
I got 2 things, bro. We can't get off the hook.
You got
that
2
quick.
things?
Yes, I do. I got 2 things.
Well, you know what? Give me your couple of things, and then I'll run through my last few real fast. But you can take your time on yours.
Okay, bro. What about Rich going to New York? I'm a traveler. I done lived in Coos Bay, Oregon. I lived in McKinleyville, California. I lived in Shelter Cove, California. I'm currently 3 nights a week in East Oakland, California. One night this week, I was in Lompoc, and I'll be out there soon. I own a house in Fresno. I'm there a couple nights a week. So I'm a traveler, right? And
Lompoc.
Yeah, Lompoc. And I got friends everywhere.
I remember,
really
Doug,
do.
that was the nickname they gave to Tupac when they pantsed him in gym class, Longpoc.
What did he have? Why? How did he get the nickname?
His name's Tupac. They called him Long Pac because they pantsed him in gym class.
So
Long Pac.
He's got a big wiener?
It was a stupid joke, dog. Go ahead.
Hey, all right. Long Pac. Fuck, it's all good, bro. Long Pac. No, it's all good. So anyways, Rich was talking about going to New York, and do you worry about friends getting upset who you don't see? And I remember it was kind of an issue because you absolutely, when you're coming in like that, you know, it might be one day, it might be a week, but even if it's a week, you're not going to see everybody, and somebody is going to be unhappy, and that's a fact. It just is what, or even if they're not unhappy, motherfucker's going to have something to say. Yeah, and it kind of is what it is. So my thing is since I'm a Austin Powers fucking international fucking traveler, you know what I mean? I've been doing. Yeah, baby. I've been traveling since 2002, right? And I travel a lot. So that's 20 years. That's damn near half my adult life. I spent a lot of nights in motels and hotels, from Motel 6 to Sleazy 6
Holiday Inn.
Holiday fucking Inns.
Some Hojos, some America's Best.
You know, I done got Wyndham Rewards. You could call them. Fucking, I won't even give my number. It's 103. Never mind the rest. But then it give me 15, 20 rooms already free because I travel, bro. I travel. So the point I'm getting, short story long, is you know, I try to, when I do something like that, I'm worried about people giving me shit later. Like when I would come back to Fresno from like McKinleyville or Shelter Cove or Coos Bay, my thing is, hey, check it out. Send out everyone a little individual text because I'm not in that group shit because you put people on the spot. Here's where I'm being. Here's what I'm doing. You want to come kick it? Come kick it. You know, I know Rich, the way he presented it kind of was people feel guilty if you don't come see them. But you got to kind of be, you know, you got to, this thing right here on your head, bro, it ain't just for growing hair. So you got to use that thing. And you got to say, hey, check it out. I'm going to, you do. No, you do. And I'm going to be here. So then you kind of throw the ball in their court. Motherfucker, all right, you can't make me feel guilty. Bitch, I done came 12 hours in a car already. Now the responsibility is on you to come see me for 15 or 20 minutes. Give a setting, a time, and a location. Tell everyone who would give you grief if you didn't let them know you were going to be there. Or, you know, if you didn't see them during your stay. Hey, here's where I'm going to be. Here's what I'm doing. Come kick it. And that way, if they don't come kick it, the responsibility is on them, not you.
Yeah, 100%. No, I feel that, and for me, it was like, I just don't know, Doug, how fucking like, I know Rich is like the fucking biggest social butterfly any of us have ever met, but Doug, I've never seen, Doug, I've never seen like him fucking.
The rainbow butterfly.
The amount of people he saw in that one trip, like I'll give it to him, Doug. I don't know how the hell he did it. Because that was a shit ton of people. Did you see the pictures that he had?
He had some pictures.
He had at least. Oh, and you know what? I do have something to say about this trip. I'll give it to him. He was able to coordinate this better than I probably will be able to coordinate my wedding. And
That's
but
right.
one of the things that made me laugh, Doug, was when he said, Covino said something about like, damn, that was a shit ton of people, you know, that you had. And he was like, oh, everybody's vaccinated. Come on now. Every one of them was vaccinated. And you know what? They might be, but he just said it so matter-of-factly, like he knew. And I was like, dog, do you think
he don't know.
Do you think when Rich was sending out those text messages and shit being like, hey guys, I'm gonna be here in Franklin Square on fucking, the 19th.
He puts the fucking square in Franklin is what he does.
Hey, can you send me your fucking vaccination before we get together? No. That I can guarantee you that wasn't even a conversation.
Because
I can't wait
like
to
you
see
said
you, Dickie.
earlier, he's a social butterfly. Bro, he's not gonna ask you anything that challenges or compromises your potential attendance to the event. He's not.
Mm-hmm. No, he like I feel like more people were like, hey, our friend Rich, we're going to go see him. They weren't like, oh, here's our vaccination shit, like our fucking card or whatever. Like, Doug, I think he's just assuming they were all vaccinated. But, Doug, I can guarantee you there's people that were in that crowd that were not vaccinated.
No.
So the way he said it so nonchalantly, like when Covino was like, "Damn, that's a shit ton of people," he was like, "We're all vaccinated." Shut the fuck up, dog. You don't know that. You don't know that. All those kids that you were chilling with that are fucking
Fulla. You
exactly.
met Fulla?
I know, dog. He's probably related to
full of shit.
He's probably related to my friend named Micho.
Micho,
you know Micho, don't you? Yeah, dog. So
what about
yeah,
fucking,
like dog, think about
what about Ligma?
Oh, dog, I swear to God, you and my brother would be fucking best friends, dog. Because that's one of my brother's favorites go-tos is Ligma.
What about those languages that we speak? Suganese and Liganese.
Oh yeah.
Liganese nuts, Tuganese nuts, and Suganese nuts.
Doug, but do you think fucking all these little nose pickers that Rich was with were all vaccinated? No, they were all like 8 years old and shit. And these motherfuckers, dog, my boss's kid is like 6 years old or 7 years old. He's in like first grade or some shit.
Okay.
This motherfucker got COVID. One of his classmates got COVID. They were giving it to the family and shit and all this kind of shit. You think all those little kids fucking were vaccinated? No, they were spreading. They were and you think all the adults were vaccinated?
Spreaders.
You think all of Rich's homies were like they're all in the same boat being like, "Oh yeah, let's be fucking
they're not all on the same page. They're not all on the same argument of the vaccine, bro.
They're individuals, right?
Right, guaranteed he's going to have different people on different sides of the argument. You got 100 people in the room, bro. It's not 100-0. You're going to have split vaccine opinions. It is what it is. And it's time we accept that. And that's okay. And that's totally okay. You know what? If I'm hanging out with 100 people, I do not want all 100 on the same argument for the vaccine. I want some type of rate that's disagreement. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be with 100 people and all of them are in disagreement of the vaccine or all of them are in agreement of the vaccine. That's bullshit.
Hey, you know what? I'll give fucking there's a couple of things to talk about real quick. One is that Joe Rogan recently got the fucking got COVID, right? And people were in the Carl page were fucking saying a bunch of shit. And
those fucking Carls, bro. I love the Carls. Please all subscribe to our show because we love you. If you subscribe, we'll shout you out. But some of you guys bumped your head half the time. And if you disagree with me, come on here and call me out.
Dr. Tim, Dr. Tim said he was like, listen, he's a funny ass comedian. He was like, he's a fucking dope, commentator, MMA dude. He's all this. He's a great podcaster. But he was like, if you're coming to Joe Rogan for your fucking COVID information, where the fuck you at? Basically.
For sure. For sure.
Like, why the fuck, dog? Joe fucking Rogan. He eats fucking elk meat all day and pops fucking on-it pills and shit. Like, you think he get like why the fuck? Like I'm not saying he's not knowledgeable because I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's done a lot of research and talked to a lot of people that are way smarter than me. But if you're coming to him for fucking COVID knowledge, dog, like, come on, where the fuck you at? You know what I'm saying?
It's not even just that. At the same time, too, think about it. Like, that can't be your information source. You can't be someone who's trying to make an educated, informed opinion or a decision, you know what I'm saying, and base it off something you heard on a fucking podcast. Everything out there, all news media outlets, it's like, I remember, bro, in the late 90s and the early 2000s, that if you were going to hear some wild shit that was exaggerated, it usually came in the form of the check stand as you're putting your groceries on the belt, right? They got the little magazines right there, and it was National Enquirer.
The National Enquirer, exactly.
The fucking Star, right?
The
Sun. New York Post or whatever, the Sun, whatever the fuck it was. All the bullshit was right there. Now,
George Bush is an alien? Huh? I need to pick that up.
Right, and he might be, right? I won't even argue that he is or he's not. But usually the funny bunny bullshit was reserved for you loading your vegetables on the fucking shopping fucking conveyor right before checkout, and that's where you read that shit. Okay, now when I worked at the grocery store in those early days, we would drop deuces. Well, actually, Babe Ruth's. We would drink a bunch of Red Bull all night long and take those things into the restroom and take a number 3 and read the whole thing from fucking start to finish, and that's how we got our juice. Now I realize that everyone nowadays is on TMZ and Boss Up Zerger, and all them fucking clickbait shit we click on nowadays. But it seems like the whole thing of journalism in general, for the most part, has been compromised, and everybody is the fucking National Enquirer, because none of those motherfuckers are reporting the whole entire truth and nothing but the truth, so help their ass. So you have to almost take anything you see with a grain of salt.
There's a couple of things real quick, Doug, that I want to go through real quick. One thing, Rich Davis needs to get off of Ted Lasso's nuts.
Yes.
That's fucking, Doug,
Yes.
It's a good show. It is not the best show ever made like Rich is making it out to be 100%.
No.
It's a good show. It's a solid show. If you need something to watch right now and you don't know what to watch, throw on Ted Lasso. I'll give it that endorsement. It's a good show. The way Rich is making it out to be, not even close, dog. All right, next point. Fucking there's two Netflix documentaries I think are worthy of checking out. There's one about the Danbury Thrashers, or Trashers, or Thrash. I think it's Thrashers. That's a good ass documentary. Not good ass. That's another one that I don't want to Rich Davis it. It was that one on the Danbury Thrashers or Trashers or whatever it is was a good one. Not the greatest thing I've ever seen, but again, if you need something to watch on Netflix, that's a good doc. And the other one, dog, the one that I was the most surprised about on Netflix, it's a series called Untold. Untold Caitlyn Jenner. That one, Doug, was surprisingly good. Like,
I have no scary stories of like how it happened or no shit like that in there, or what?
I have a third recommendation.
Is there a turning point?
The Caitlyn Jenner one, dog. This is what I'll say. This is why I think it was so good.
You're running drag right now, bro, aren't you?
No, look at this shit,
Okay,
dog.
sorry,
It's like an hour long. It's like an hour long documentary. 50 minutes of it is Caitlyn talking about like the 76 Olympics or some shit where you know where Bruce Jenner won the decathlon and he won a gold medal. Doug, I thought Bruce Jenner was just like a runner. I didn't know, Doug, that he did he fucking did the hurdles, he did the javelin throw, he did the high jump, he did the long jump.
He hurdled into the female fucking sex category.
He fucking
the longest jump in his life.
The discus, the fucking shot put, all that shit, dog. But this documentary, 50 minutes of it is basically them showing footage from the Olympics and going through that and what he was thinking and this Russian dude he wanted to beat, and it was really fucking good. The last 10 minutes, once it gets to, they have like an interview with like his oldest son, and his oldest son says like he knew in like 1990 about Bruce's transition because he was going to start to transition back then.
Really?
And then he changed his mind. He told his ex-wife, he told his son, who was in like 6th grade or whatever, and that he was going to, start to transition and shit. And then he changed his mind, and that's when he met Kris Jenner and, had the whole Kardashian shit, right? But in like the early 90s, like 1990, he was going to fucking start the transition. And so the last like 10 minutes is about that. So Doug, like his son, Bert, knew about this since like 1990. And he said that like he would be in like 6th grade and have to like leave the classroom because he wanted to cry, and nobody knew what was wrong. And he couldn't tell nobody. So for decades, this dude held this in, the son, the oldest son. Do you think that Caitlyn uses the Manscaped 4.0? Dog, that's called
because man or woman,
what is that called? That's a callback, right? That's a callback. But no, definitely. It's like I said, if you don't want like if you don't want the Caitlyn shit, just watch the first like 50 minutes of the documentary. It's really fucking
watch the whole
good.
Thing.
And then the last one that I'm watching right now, and I might be on like the last episode, is what is it? It's called Relentless on Discovery. And Doug, I didn't even I was like, I saw a commercial for this on like YouTube or something, and it was showing this like documentary or whatever. And I was like, oh, I'll go check it out. So I went to Discovery and I did what everybody and their mama does. I was like, oh, I'll do a free trial, right? And it was like,
I thought you were gonna say you
can't do
jerked
a
off
free
watching
trial.
whales.
No.
All right.
I went to do a free trial and it was like, hey, it was like you already have an account. So I was like, okay, well, let me use a different email, right?
Yeah.
So I used a different email and I got Discovery free for another week. So I've been watching this documentary. But this one's called Relentless. And dog, this documentary is so fucking it's all over the place on like, you know, some chick disappears, right? And they're trying to figure out like who, you know, either murdered her or got rid of her or whatever. They don't know who it is, if it's the family, if it's this dude, if it's that dude, whatever.
It was a chupacabra,
but
bro.
Doug, I think the most fucked up thing about this documentary is she had a baby, right? Right before she disappeared. So one of the things about like that I think is the most fucked up is like, I know the family like misses the girl and shit, right?
Yeah.
But like
for sure.
the little girl, her little girl, dog, when she's like literally like 2 years old and shit, or like 1 year old, they're like going through photo albums and they're being like, look it, there's mommy. And I understand them like wanting her to know mommy, but they're like, oh, like we miss mommy, like don't you miss mommy and all this shit. And dog, and she's like a year old. Then they cut to her like 3 years old and they're like, oh, we just want mommy to come back, right? We want mommy. And then so the little girl is like 3 years old, being like, all I want for Christmas is like, I just want God to bring mommy back.
I'm
and
sure
then,
every
then
person in
like,
that situation wants the same thing, but
and
to
then
try to like
they're
put
like,
that in their
oh,
brain is not smart, bro.
Then the little girl is like, all I want for my birthday is, you know, mommy to be back and all this shit. And I feel like the family's like putting all this shit in her head about like how like, I understand she's missing and shit, and but the way you just have to watch the documentary. I kind of feel like the way they go about it is so wrong. So then, Doug, they cut to the little girl being like 7 years old, and she's doing like a FaceTime video, like recording herself, bawling, Doug, bawling, being like, oh, like I just want my mommy and all this shit, dog, fucking bawling, right?
That's not right.
And you're
dude.
like, Doug, like, where the hell, like, and it might sound.
Where are the parents and the adults at in this situation to like?
Doug, it might
cut the
sound kind of
shit?
like. It might sound like I'm being like kind of messed up because like you're like, yeah, you want her to know her mommy. That's not the point. 100%. You want her to know her.
Yes.
So at the end of the documentary, or at least where I'm at right now, the little girl's like 10 years old. Because this chick who's creating the documentary has been following the family for 9 years. So the little girl is 9 years old now, or 10 years old. And you're like, holy crap, Doug. Like that's all they make it about is like, for that little girl, like it's 100% of her life is like the grandparents, like, we need to find mommy, we're missing mommy. And like, it's so weird. It's just weird, but it's a great documentary. So it's called, Relentless on Discovery. And if you guys want freaking, you know, you don't even want to make a trial, hit me up and I'll give you my login. You know, just because I think it's good enough to check out, you know.
Yeah, and what's crazy is you know, obviously when you suffer loss, everybody comes from a different place. They feel a certain type of way. It affects them a certain different type of way, and you can't really challenge what you're feeling versus what the next person's feeling, and you can't even really compare it because people are different and they go through different shit, you know. But you have to, you know, advice from the Cucuy himself. I lost my pops a couple years ago, you know, and at the end of the day, when you lose someone like that, the last thing that person's going to want you to do when you lose them is to behave in a way that negatively affects your life, right? Because they loved you before they went, so they're going to want the best for you no matter what. So I can't argue with that lady trying to track her down and knowing and this and that and the other, but at the same time, you got to do the best you can. Everyone handles shit different. Do the best you can. Do you. That's it.
100%, Doug. Like it's crazy though, but it was it's a pretty good documentary. There was
I'm gonna check it out.
Oh, did I talk about, because this is only lasting like 2 seconds, but did I talk about how they were talking about songs of people singing in movies and shit?
I didn't hear that, and no, you didn't tell me anything.
Well, there was this week they were talking about like when there's a movie and they like kind of force, you know, like a song into the movie where people will break out into song or something. Oh,
Okay.
and the reason it came
And into a tickle sax song?
started. The reason it started was somebody was talking about one of the episodes of Ted Lasso. I guess they start singing or something. So they started bringing up like Step Brothers. You know how they're like,
that's classic. Ted Lasso's good, bro, but it's not Step Brothers good.
Well, Doug, one of the ones that I think it's just an honorable mention for that conversation, Doug. This is I don't know why, Doug. I don't know if it's because it reminds me of like me being like fucking like 14 years old and shit, like learning dances to like Backstreet Boys and shit and karaoke in my room and shit.
No Blue Jazz IKEA mugs.
There were some of those, not to the Backstreet Boys though, dog. It was still like that was for other content, but Doug, this was one of the to me this is one of the funniest scenes in like fucking movies and shit where they're singing, and this is just, it's real quick.
Y'all pretty ladies around the world.
That's the
got a
stupidest thing I've ever seen. But it makes me laugh because on that same scene, it starts with him like playing a video game and shit, and then it cuts to him like, "Hey, pretty lady," and then it cuts to like, you know, him like watching a movie or something. Then it cuts to him, and I was like, Doug, I just crack up because like I think of like, I remember one time, my friend Ralph came over to my house when I was in high school. Okay. And speaking of which, I think fucking what's her name? What's her name that does that? Fucking Lily from How I Met Your Mother. Yeah, what's her name?
Elizabeth.
I don't know, but
I don't know. Allison Hannison.
I forget. Allison Hannigan. Yeah, no, but I think she's I think she's pretty dope, Doug, and I know a lot of people don't, but I dig her. But anyway, fucking one time my friend Ralph came over, Doug, and I was playing like Dave Mirra fucking
BMX?
or some shit on my PlayStation 2.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was like my favorite shit. I was playing that and I was bumping like Eazy-E or something, right?
Yeah.
And my
Classic
friend
combo.
Ralph came over. He was like, "It reminds me of a scene in Talladega Nights."
Yeah. When you have the stereo on at the same time as the TV, how do you control the volume on the TV?
Why do you want to listen to the TV with the stereo on?
But anyway, Doug,
Do I like
I
to
think I've
party?
exhausted all of my shit. Even though I see some more of my notes, I think I'm good on my shit. What do you have?
I got Jake Paul.
All right, and what about
What
him?
the fuck did you see that night? Did you watch the fight?
Yeah, I did.
What how many rounds you give Jake Paul? How many you give Tyrone Woodley? What do you think about when Jake Paul got stunned in the 4th round? And fuck, who do you think won the fight?
I think okay, and I'm you know what? I'm not gonna say I know because I don't know as much as somebody like Covino or yourself or Mike Tyson. But Mike Tyson came out recently and he was like, hands down, Jake Paul won that. You know, so I think
I saw that.
So I think Jake Paul did win that. I think one of the things that could have been considered a knockdown is when where Tyron Woodley hit him and he, you know, leaned into the ropes or whatever, but I think he lost his footing and shit. And he, you know, I thought he was, if that rope wasn't there, his ass would have been on the floor, you know? So,
yeah,
you know, I think there's things like that made it interesting, but I couldn't even tell you.
Even that, is it more than 10-8 that round?
Not more
10-7?
than, it might be 10-8, maybe 10-7, but nothing more than that. It was
right.
That round, I think was,
It can't even be 10-7. He did not fall to the ground. He had ropes.
Yeah, so
8-round fight.
8 rounds. So I think Jake had at least like 6 of them.
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care if you're like the dude that wants to be super critical, fucking Critical Carl, right? Let's just call him Critical Carl. And fuck, really, bro? Can you really see it any different than 5-3? And the round where he got stunned, he didn't get knocked down. And we watch boxing all the time. Usually when it's a 10-8, it's because someone ate the canvas.
Yeah.
And he didn't eat the canvas. He could have ate the canvas. Had that shit happen in the center of the ring, he might have ate the canvas.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Let's be realistic. It didn't. and he didn't, right? There was ropes. He bounced back and he won the fight. I mean, he obviously didn't win that round. You know, I would give that, again, I might even give that round 10-8 to Woodley. That's fine. We'll do that. But with that being said, Woodley didn't win more than one more round. And if you want to fucking make an argument, you could say he won 2. But 5-3, even with the 10-8 round in the 3, you don't win. And then I think you pointed it out best. I mean, Mike Tyson is the greatest heavyweight of my time. I've never seen, I've seen Ali and Sonny Liston and George Foreman on videos. But what Mike Tyson did when he was in his prime, the fear he struck into the fellow boxer, and just the assassin that he was, if that man, without a doubt, is saying he thinks Jake Paul won, definitely validates my opinion.
Yeah.
And it makes your opinion, if it's different, wrong. It just is what it is.
Yeah. No, and see, and that's one of the things that that I could only feel. I could almost. Hey,
Bubs.
I could almost feel Covino's frustration, because he was talking about there's people that obviously know way less than him that were convinced it went the other way, and Covino was like,
no,
like
how though?
I know exactly, but I don't know what they were telling him, but whatever it was, Doug, was wrong. Like you said, wrong. It just was, and Covino was saying, Doug, like, I'm fucking, you know, Covino was saying, like, I'm grown adult years old, right? And and these people that were fucking that, come on now, most of Covino's life he's been into boxing and he's loved boxing. Doug, he spends more time. Everybody fucking, you know, knows that Covino spends most weekends watching boxing, even over UFC, dog. And for me,
he's not even watching. He's like silently studying.
Yeah, and Doug, if I could fucking if there's something going on that's equally exciting in both, I'll try and catch both. For the most part, if it's more of a not really, you know, known boxer or whatever, then I'll watch like the UFC. I'd rather watch an unknown UFC fighter than an unknown boxer. That's just my opinion. But that's not Covino. So for somebody like me, who's a very casual boxing, you know, watcher, to come and say, "Hey, this is why I'm right," as opposed to somebody who, Doug, this has been a part of most of their life, you're full of shit. You're just wrong, you know?
Covino is definitely a fan of the sport, and you know, his opinion is valued because of the time and the investment he makes into the sport. My theory is, I was talking to the little homie Ethan, and my thing is that with Tyrone Woodley being in mixed martial arts or competitive combat sports for the last 20 plus years, I don't understand how he got fucking beat like that by Jake Paul, who's only been involved in 3 years. And my other argument to that story is Woodley was the aggressor. But if you watch most of Floyd Mayweather's fights, his opponents usually are too. And that doesn't work out well for his opponents because he just counters and scores points left and right, and you have no fucking shot at the scoreboard. And I kind of feel, I'm not saying Jake Paul's a Floyd Mayweather by any means, not even fucking close. So let me be clear with that. However, the way he handled that situation in the 4th round where he got saved by the ropes, he didn't call it what you want, make your own fucking storyline, doesn't matter. He didn't get knocked down. He didn't get knocked out. And other than that round and arguably one more, and if you want to be an asshole, 2 more, Woodley still lost the fight. And having a good 4th round and 2 other rounds only makes 3 out of a total of 8.
Yeah.
Those other rounds were 10-9, 10-9, bro. It just 10-9, 10-9, and 10-8 do not win you the fucking fight.
100%. 100%.
They just don't.
Any final thoughts, El Cucuy, before we leave?
No, I don't. Again, the one connection I want to make is the way Covino, pointed out that Taylor ham and bagels. I understand. I get it. That's not my jam, and I hopefully would make a different connection. But I understand where he's coming from. Shout out Steve Covino. Shout out Big Steve. Shout out Tudmaster Tommy, Stickman, Brendan, Tip Dog, anybody else, Funky Monkey, anyone who listens to our show who I forgot. Drop us a line. Remind me. I'll shout you out the next one. I can't remember
My
everybody.
daughter goes,
I just
Funky
can't.
Monkey.
Funky Monkey.
Shout out Funky Monkey.
I'll let you
You know what? One of my work studies might be listening because she was asking me about the show and shit. So shout out to Alyssa if she's listening. So she's a homie. She's cool. And then just shout out to everybody, like you said, everybody that's checking us out. We appreciate it. Shout out to Cove for always showing love.
Yes.
Shout out to Spot Dog because I was trying to do something for this show and I couldn't figure it out, which I still haven't done. But at least I was able to reach out to Spot and he fucking told me how to do it. So I appreciate that, Doug.
Right.
That's why they're the most interactive, dopest show of all time. Because Doug, who else?
Yes.
Doug, what other professional fucking, producer, professional deucer
Number
can you
3.
hit up and them get back to you, Doug? He got back to me in like a minute and a half with his response. And I was just like,
Yeah,
that's
shout out
the coolest shit, Doug. So shout out to them, Covino and Rich. If you guys aren't subscribed to them on Patreon, you can get the $5 a month fucking, plan where you can only listen. But the $10 a month one, it's only 33 cents a day. That's where it's at, Doug. Because they got the new
Shout
set.
out Behind the Velvet Soap.
Shout out to people washing their butt. My daughter's looking at me funny.
On the daily.
Yeah. When you're in the bath, Bubba, what do I ask you when you're in the bath? I go, Kennedy. And you go, what? And then what do I ask you? I go, have you washed your butt? And then she's like, right now. So, Bubba? That's what you got to do. You got to wash your butt every day.
It translates. Even the kids are doing it. So get with the program.
Exactly. You got to, every day after Kennedy has dance and ballet and school, every day after school, at night, she's washing her butt. So be more like Kennedy and less like Spot. After show, but later. Al Cucuy, you have anything before we bounce, doggy?
No, Behind the Velvet Soap. I'm over and out.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this shit up. Let's bring the homie Baseline Trey in, and we will see you guys in episode number 91.
Cause it's all about the paper. Now buckle up your seats and prepare for the journey. Let the music ease your soul. Grab a spliff and start burning. Relax with us and take a trip to the heavens and come and spend a day in the 757.
Of course, Doug. This is when you get out the shower. You don't have Neosporin in the shower.